Look, you are standing in front of your laptop at 11:45 at night. Shine.com. Cart total $62. I already know what happens next. Right there at the bottom of the screen, those 4 words, pay in 4, no interest. $62 just became $15.50 in your brain. Not because math changed, because a button made you forget how addition works. And you are not alone. 59% of Gen Z uses these things. But the person I am about to tell you about found something on page 3 of a credit report that nobody warned them about, and honestly, it messed me up a little too. So here is the setup. 24 years old, front desk at a boutique hotel in Charlotte, $42,000 a year before taxes. Decent credit score, 680 something. Not amazing, not terrible. Right in that zone where you think you are doing fine. They use Affirm, they use Klarna, they use Afterpay, sometimes all 3 in the same week. The logic is perfect on paper. Why pay $60 today when you can pay $15 4 times? Your checking account stays above water, your credit card stays in the drawer. You feel like you cracked some kind of financial cheat code. Except here is the thing about cheat codes. They usually come with a patch that ruins everything. This person, right, they are scrolling through TikTok one night and somebody mentions pulling your free credit report from annualcreditreport.com. So they do it, not because they are worried. More like a Tuesday night why not kind of thing. They log in. They pull the Experian file. First page looks normal. Second page, fine. Third page, 7 lines they have never seen before. I need you to sit with that for a second. 7. Each one listed as a separate loan, not a credit card, not a subscription, a loan. Affirm, 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 affirm. Each one with a different origination date, a different balance, a different payment schedule. Affirm started reporting all of this to Experian on April 1st, 2025. Every pay over time product. Every one. And the thing that really gets you, these are not loans they remember signing up for. They remember buying a pair of headphones, a lamp, a skincare set, a birthday gift. These were checkout buttons, not loan applications. But on page 3 of this credit report, they are loans, with payment histories, with status updates. The ceiling fan in the hotel lobby has this quiet wobble that you only notice when everything else goes silent. Okay, so let me give you the numbers because the numbers are what made me lose it a little. This person had, and they did not know this until they sat down and actually added it all up. They had 7 active BNPL accounts with a combined outstanding balance of about $930. Their credit card balance at the time, $710. So the debt they did not think of as debt was larger than the debt they actually monitored. That is not a math problem, that is a perception problem, and it is not just them. The CFPB's most recent market report, December 2025, pulled data from the 6 biggest BNPL lenders, says the average user took out 6.3 loans per lender in 2023, not 6.3 total per lender. And 1 in 4 users have held 3 or more active loans at the same time. According to LendingTree's latest numbers, I want you to picture this for a second. You are 24. You have 7 open installment accounts on your credit report. Each one shows up as its own Tradeline. To a lender looking at your file, a mortgage lender, an auto loan underwriter, a landlord running a credit check, you look like someone who has 7 outstanding loans. Not 7 $15 purchases, 7 loans. And here is where I need you to pay attention, because this next part is worse. 57% of Gen Z BNPL users have missed at least 1 payment. That is not a rounding error. That is the majority. And here is the thing that gets me. More than half of Gen Z says they have trouble tracking when their installment payments are even due. Payments ran a survey of almost 3,000 people late last year, and that was the pattern across installment products. So you have a product designed to split one payment into 4 payments across 3 different platforms, each with their own biweekly schedule, each pulling from your checking account on a different day. And nobody gave you a dashboard. You did not forget to pay. The system forgot to be trackable. This person in Charlotte, they missed 2 payments, not because they were broke, because they had Affirm pulling on the 1st and the 15th, Klarna pulling on the 7th and the 21st, and Afterpay pulling whenever it felt like it. Their checking account got hit 6 times in 3 weeks for purchases they made 2 months ago, and one of those pulls landed on the same day as their car insurance Autopay. Overdraft $35. Not because they overspent, because the timing was invisible. Actually, let me say that differently, they did not have a spending problem. They had a calendar problem. And nobody told them those were the same thing. When you are using 3 BNPL apps at once, a streetlight outside the hotel flickers, the kind of flicker that has been happening for weeks, but nobody has called it in. Now I want to talk about what this actually does to your credit file, because this is the part that nobody sits you down and explains. And look, I am not here to tell you what to do with your money. This is all public data and public math. Your situation might be completely different, but the math is worth hearing. Before April 2025, most BNPL activity was invisible to credit bureaus. You could have 18 active BNPL loans, and your credit report would not show a single one. That changed. Affirm's press release went out March 19, 2025. Starting April 1st, every pay-over-time product gets reported to Experian. Every on-time payment, every late payment, every missed payment, all of it. Klarna and Afterpay have not followed yet. Klarna actually pushed back publicly, said traditional credit scoring models might misinterpret frequent short-term BNPL activity as elevated risk. The Richmond Fed flagged this tension in their February 2026 economic brief. But the door is open, and once one major player starts reporting, the rest are on a clock. So what does this mean for the person in Charlotte? It means their 2 missed Affirm payments are now on their Experian file. And when they go to lease an apartment next year, Charlotte rents are not getting cheaper. The landlord is going to pull their credit and see 2 late payments on installment loans. Not late payments on a $60 skincare purchase, late payments on loans. I have to be honest with you, that part caught me off guard. I knew BNPL was growing. I did not expect the numbers on the credit report side to look like this. The Richmond Fed, and this is the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond, not a blog, estimated the total BNPL market at around $70 billion a year in 2025. Sounds massive, but it is only 1.1% of total credit card spending. That is the weird part. This is a tiny slice of the consumer credit market. But for the individual, for this person in Charlotte pulling $42,000 a year, the leverage effect is enormous. 7 Tradelines on a thin credit file can shift the entire shape of how a lender reads you. It is like dropping 7 pebbles into a pond the size of a bathtub. The ripples hit every wall. Those 7 lines on page 3, the ghost loans, you did not apply for them. You did not sign a promissory note. You clicked a button that said pay in 4 between a shipping address and a confirmation email. But on your credit report, they are as real as a car loan. They have origination dates. They have payment histories. They have statuses. Ghost loans. They were always there. You just could not see them until someone turned the lights on. And let me give you the number that stopped me cold. 68% of BNPL users, LendingTree's 2026 report, surveyed over 2,000 people, agree that the loans cause them to overspend. Among Gen Z specifically, 83%. I am going to say that again. 83% of Gen Z BNPL users say these loans make them spend more than they would have otherwise. And 54% of all BNPL users say they have regretted at least one purchase. That was 48% last year. It is climbing. The Federal Reserve found that adults with credit scores in the low to mid 600s used BNPL at roughly 3 times the rate of those above 720. The people most exposed are the ones with the thinnest margin. I am curious, how many of you have actually pulled your Experian report and checked page 3? Because I am betting most of you have not. And I am not judging. This person in Charlotte had not either. The lobby is empty now. The check-in screen glows blue against the marble counter. This person, and I keep coming back to them because their numbers are so average that it almost hurts. They did something I think a lot of people should think about. They opened a blank note on their phone. They went through every email confirmation from Affirm, Klarna, and Afterpay. Every single one. They typed in the remaining balance. $931 in ghost loans, sitting there. Not in a loan statement. Not in a billing dashboard. Scattered across 3 apps, 9 email chains, and page 3 of a credit report they almost never pulled. Look, the BNPL industry did about $70 billion in transactions in 2025. And the CFPB says the average transaction is $135. It is not a mortgage, it is a pair of headphones. But those 6 top lenders alone originated $335 million of those loans in 2023. That is 335 million individual trade lines that the credit reporting system is only now starting to see. 335 million ghost loans emerging from the dark. And here is the part that is going to follow you around. If you have used Affirm since April 2025, your payment history is already on your Experian file. You can check it right now. Experian.com, free membership. Pull your report. Look for trade lines you do not recognize. They will say Affirm. They will list a dollar amount, an origination date, and a payment status. If you have been on time, that actually helps you. If you missed one, even by a day, you want to know before a landlord or a lender finds it first. The CFPB still considers BNPL providers to be credit card issuers under federal law. That means you have the right to dispute charges. You have the right to a billing statement. You have the right to transparent terms. Most BNPL users do not know this. The person in Charlotte did not know this until they were 3 pages deep into a credit report they pulled on a Tuesday night. The CFPB breaks it all down at consumerfinance.gov. It reads like a legal textbook, but the information is yours, and it is free. Second thing, if you want to see every BNPL account you have ever opened, there is no single dashboard, not yet. You have to go app by app. Affirm, Klarna, Afterpay, PayPal, Pay in 4. Each one buries the account history in a different place in settings. I went looking for mine last week. Took me 11 minutes in Klarna alone. 11 minutes to find my own purchase history in an app designed for convenience. There is a bigger picture here, by the way. What this looks like when you zoom out to $70 billion and 335 million loans and an entire generation whose credit files are about to get a lot more complicated. But that is a different conversation. The person in Charlotte closed 4 of the 7 accounts, kept the remaining balance manageable, set calendar alerts, actual alerts, in their phone, not the app notifications they had been ignoring for the pull dates, started checking Experian every 2 weeks instead of never. Their credit score did not change much, 682 to 679, 3 points. But the file looks different now. Fewer open trade lines, fewer active installment loans, cleaner, quieter. I have been talking about money on this channel for a while now, and every time I think, I have seen the weirdest corner of the system. Something like this shows up. If you have been here before, you know the kind of stuff I look into. If you are new, stick around. It only gets weirder from here. They still use BNPL sometimes. One account at a time. They read the terms now. Which, honestly, is kind of the saddest upgrade imaginable. Congratulations, you now read the fine print on a $40 purchase. But that is where we are. The lobby lights dim at midnight on a timer. The check-in screen stays blue.